Hello, you all. It's Agnes coming to you with the ideas for your Thanksgiving table. I do wanted to show you five, actually, maybe even six or seven ideas. So I brought my paper towel roll and I'm just simply slicing it into almost, I would say, the width of my burlap ribbon that I have on the side. So I would say around 2 inches or so. And I'm not going to chop it up. I'm just going to show you some ideas, and I hopefully that you are going to enjoy them. So now I do have a burlap that I would like to cut all around, wrap all around my rings. There's really not a big deal, nothing really big deal about that process. You just simply add a little dab of the glue and then add the dab of the glue on the edges to wrap the paper towel slices that we just did to make it look nice and finished off. Just watch out for your fingers when you do it because the burlap is sort of a see-through, so it may burn you really, bad. Okay, so that's done. All seems to be smooth off. You can always later cut everything down, but I just do want to go to a next step. So I'm cutting another piece. That's actually the super easy one. And I'm positive most of those pieces you do have at home. And if you even don't have them, I am positive I will inspire you to create your own. And I cannot wait for you to show me this. So now I'm just going to, I cut a little piece of the burlap. I removed a little thread from the side to have that fringe exposed. You could, ideally, I am taking usually Elmer's glue and twirling those, remaining threads a little bit just to bring a little bit more of interest, gluing it down, and I'm going to bring my buttons and have fun with those. I am a plain Jane, so I'm only using the pearly and white one. So the way I like to do it, I just like to scatter them all around. The only tip that I would have in this whole installation, if this is something you may possibly try, is to use a really tiny amount of the hot glue. And the little mini guns that you see I am constantly using are the ones that are not distributing this big amount. So that's to keep the whole front of the napkin of the installation clean. That's it, and I'm actually happy with it. So now I'm going to take my napkin, fold it in half, pull it through, and here we go. First napkin ring is ready. Okay, so let's move to another one. Okay, so this one is with the pine cone. My goal here was to remove the only the top portion of my pine cone, and I've been using all the tools that we're usually working, but I guess this one is a stubborn one. So I would say is for that napkin ring, I would just simply look for the cone that it's shorter, but on the bulkier side. The bulkier will imitate more of a flower. Okay, so it's finally cut. Now look at this. I actually could create two flowers, one smaller one, one bigger one, but I'm going to stick with the smaller portion. So all what I'm doing it is again in a place where my burlap was crossing each other, overlapping, let's put it this way. I choose to install my sort of embellishment. So that's what I'm going to do. And here you do have to add a significant amount of the hot glue because you do want the cone to stick nicely. So now I do have a little flower. It's super simple, but I think the simplicity is always, at least in my eyes, the best. So now I'm trying to figure out if I should add a bead or I should add the wooden beads, or I'll just simply go for something sparkly. And you know what? I'm going to be bringing some gold. Actually love it how that looks, little something and it looks a little bit a high end. So here I go again, squeeze my napkin through it, and let's move on to another one. This time I'm going to use the book pages. Okay, so now my book page is small, but I'm still cutting a third of my book page, and as you can see as I'm folding this into harmonica. I forgot to mention that I do have actually two pieces of the book pages. I could have actually used one and cut it in a thirds, but either way. So now I have a harmonica. Now I wanted to round it off the edges of my harmonica. I like to create sort of a nice square rounded edges. So now this is all done. Now it's time to unfold it and see how it goes, and then glue them together right at their ends. Do you know what I'm already trying to create? Now look at this. Now it should give you the clue what I'm doing. I'm actually doing the back feathers of my turkey. So now I'm just going to slightly smear the hot glue right in the middle and make sure, because it is hot, make sure that this is nicely nice and cold now before you move on to another step. So now I'm taking my wrapped paper towel ring, and of course right in the position where they were overlapping, I'm going to install my turkey feathers. And then I'm trying to figure out if my pinecone would work, or a little fruit that I had. I usually use the pine cones, not pine cones. I had to stop the video, not the pine cones, acorns. Man. Okay, so I'm installing the back of my little fan that is going to imitate my turkey feathers, and I'm going to put the pine cone, in my case, right into in the front of it. And of course I want to make sure that the whole feathers are nicely spread out, so I'm going to add a little dab of the hot glue right at the beginning to make sure that that stays open. I was so excited. It takes a little bit while for the hot glue to dry, even though it is quick. So now I'm using the bigger pine cones that I have left, and I think that pretty nicely imitates my turkey. So here I go again. I'm getting my napkin. This time I'm going to use the one with the stripes, and to make it more of a rustic look, but obviously that kind of a design will work with any color of napkins. And here we go. I had another one. So here I go to, I don't know, third one, fourth one. This one is super simple. I'm just wrapping the twine around my paper towel piece to actually camouflage it with a little bit of the hot glue here and there. And of course, pay attention, I obviously did not cut it straight, so now I have to deal with remainder. But again, like everybody, I am making mistakes too, and I actually did not notice. You may think that it would have been easier to cut the remaining piece, but I was completely on the angle. But it is all fixed right now. All the pieces are removed, and I am all good. I just need to cut the fringy portion off, tuck it in underneath, and it will be all good. So I promise that even if your guests will take the napkin ring off your napkin, it will still stay together. So now this one is going to be super easy one. All what I wanted to do is just bring a little bit of the greenery that I have. And again, this is from the outside. Obviously, you can remove it later, because if you do not preserve, that's going to wilt. But for the dinner time, it's actually perfect. So now here we go. My fruit is right there. I'm going to maybe bring a little bit of the twine, because I think I'm missing something in here. Poking it right through my napkin, and now look at this. Voila! Another napkin ring is ready. Well, you may add the twine, or you may not. I always like to add something. If I would have had maybe a little bit more of a fruit, or maybe 3 of them, I would have most likely settled with that. But a little bit of the twine on the side that I'm going to cut it later, and it's done. So here I go to my final idea for today, and I have many more, but I'm going to save them for the blog. So here it goes. Well, no, it's actually not the final one. It's going to be one before the final one. So here's the simple napkin that I just folded, and then I'm going to bring my raffia. Yay! Man, I was trying so badly to keep this raffia contained in my bag, but I guess I had to take it out. Now I'm going to struggle to put it back. Man, raffia is really wild piece of my accessory, but I managed. Okay, so I'm just taking it and tying it a knot all around my napkin that I just rolled out. And it's, again, as you know, raffia is wild, but we can correct this really easy. So what I like to do is add 2 or 3 wraps, add not the knot, just do the tie, and then secure that with the hot glue. That's going to make the raffia stop its movement. Okay, finally my knot is almost there. So here I go with the hot glue. Just a little bit right underneath to make sure that it's not going to be showing. Even though we are going to put little pieces to decorate it with, or you may not. So here I'm cutting one piece on the side, trying to make sure, because as you can see, Raffia is pushing its own way out to open up. So now all is cold, and I'm cutting this on the side. So here I'm thinking that I need to bring either a little bit of the berries, or I usually again either put a little wooden piece or my dough little tags that I always make. But just because they are not ready this year yet, and I do not want to dig out my Christmas decoration yet, I decided to use leftover picks that I had in the house. Course, to keep it all united and have all the ends of my picks nicely hidden, I decided to wrap the pieces with the leftover raffia, secure it with the hot glue, and add on to the napkin top. And I promise we are not gluing the napkin. I am only barely adding anything. And it's again, even the little bit of the hot glue keeps those pieces together. So you are all good. Man, I really made a lot of them. I thought that was the last one. Nope, it's not. There's actually two more, I hope. So this one is with the ring, the shower rings from the Dollar Tree. And you'll be thinking that that would be the easiest thing to do. No, it was not easy. I had to call for help and use the knife to get one napkin, not one shower rod ring out. As you can see is this one I'm wrapping with a little bit of the twine and a little bit of the hot glue here and there all around to actually camouflage that this is the shower ring. What a mess it was. My twine was just too long, so I decided to crumble it up and then just pull it through. So that's why I was not really showing you what I was doing. But you know that all what I did was just wrap all around. Okay, so here on this one is actually one of my favorite one. Little bit of the flower leftover pick from Dollar Tree. I just hot glue it on, and you could add the leaves. You could actually do anything right on the top. You could cut the leaf out of the book pages. This one is actually super fun, and they do last a long time. So this is not one evening sort of the event. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the napkin, and I'm going to pull it through, get my triangle. I'm doing it really super quick just to show you how it looks on a napkin, even though I am going to make the picture so at the end. So make sure you stayed for that. Okay, so here I have my full napkin that I put the ring, the shower ring, right in the middle, twisting it a little bit, and then pulling the corners of each napkin and tucking it inside my ring that I just pulled in. And the deal with this is, if you do have the napkin like I have with two sides, you got to make sure that the so-called left side is laying flat on your table, and what you see is the right side is actually laying down on the table, and the left side you are facing. So here we go. You just tuck it in all around, and you fold pieces here and there. And guess what? I hope you do see what I've created. I've created a little pumpkin. I actually do like this, and I do make that a lot because that's sort of a quicker way of decorating the table. And what I like to usually do with this pumpkin of mine, after I fluff it up and tuck it in, is that the napkin is not wrinkled when it's unfolded, and it looks still elegant, and it looks, a good element of the surprise. I usually add the name tag to it, or I add a little bit, again, my soldo ornaments, and now look how pretty this pumpkin looks on my plate. So, of course, I'm going to add a little bit of the green just to show you. I don't have a tag because I'm making it, but look how pretty that is. So here is some pictures of the napkin rings ideas that we've made together, and little close-ups. And I know there will be more coming on my blog together with this video. So I hope that you are enjoying, and you enjoy that whole video, and you're going to help me sprinkle that. So here is our turkey right there. It's a new one for me because I usually, as I said, making it with the acorns, but it does look pretty cool. Okay, so now oh, here is another close-up, and I see I've actually put 3 pictures of each. So here is another one we just made that was wrapped with the twine all around with a little simple fruit. I feel it looks super elegant. Okay, so now goes to another one. Do you remember this? I brought so many ideas. That's my raffia looking super elegant over here. Don't you think so? Who would have thunk it that raffia can look that good, right? And it does not look messy. Okay, so now here goes the simplest one. One of the first one we made is just that little flower made out of the pinecone with a little bit of a gold. And of course, I would be changing the chargers for different colors. But now is the simple flower ones made out of the shower ring. Right there, and the little flower. I always love flowers. It all depends on what your tablescapes at Thanksgiving are going to be. And I know you're going to be showing me so many napkin rings soon. So here is the first one we actually made with the buttons. It's super simple. I actually usually set it up right on a wooden block. But again, this is just for now to quickly show you the whole view. So I really hope that you did enjoy that video, and I hope you're going to sprinkle that for me, and I hope that I inspired you to make one for yourself. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.